Hey there, friends. So let's get back into American Miscellany very quickly. This looks like a very short little essay here. So we are reading American Miscellany, published in 1865. Of course, it's just a collection of essays which are very miscellaneous in length, in subject. Our last one was, kind of medium length. It was called Early Pleasures, kind of interesting. That was essay 168, Early Pleasures. And here we are on page 446, moving on to essay 169. This one is called The Burying Beetle, which I think will be very interesting. All right, friends, American Miscellany, page 446, essay 169, The Burying Beetle. A foreign naturalist gives a very interesting account of the industry of this insect. He had often remarked that dead moles, when laid upon the ground, especially upon loose earth, were sure to disappear in the course of 2 or 3 days, often in 12 hours. To ascertain the cause, he placed the mole upon one of the beds of his garden. It had disappeared on the 3rd morning, and on digging where it had been laid, he found it buried to the depth of 3 inches, and under it 4 beetles, which seemed to have been the agents in this singular burial. Not perceiving anything particular in the mole, he buried it again, and on examining it at the end of 6 days, he found it swarming with maggots, apparently the issue of the beetles, which Mr. Gledish now naturally concluded had buried the carcass for the food of their young. To determine these points more clearly, he put 4 of these insects into a glass vessel, half filled with earth and properly secured, and upon the surface of the earth 2 frogs. In less than 12 hours, one of the frogs was buried by 2 of the beetles, and the other 2 ran about the whole day, as if busied in measuring the size of the remaining frog, which on the 3rd day was also found buried. He then introduced a dead linnet, Linnet. I wonder if this is from England. A pair of beetles were soon engaged upon the bird. Okay, so it's a kind of bird. Linnet is a kind of bird. They began their operations by pushing out the earth from under the body so as to form a hole for its reception, and it was curious to see the efforts which the beetles made by dragging at the feathers of the bird from below to pull it into its grave. The male, having driven the female away, continued the work alone for 5 hours. He lifted up the bird, changed its place, turned it, and arranged it in the grave, and from time to time came out of the hole, mounted upon it, and trod it under foot, and then retired below and pulled it down. At length, apparently wearied with this uninterrupted labor, it came forth and leaned its head upon the earth beside the bird, without the smallest motion, as if to rest itself, for a full hour, when it again crept under the earth. The next day, in the morning, the bird was 1.5 inches under the ground, and this trench remained open the whole day, the corpse seeming as if laid out upon a bier, surrounded with a rampart of mold. In the evening it had sunk 1/2 inch lower, and in another day the work was completed and the bird covered. Mr. Gledish continued to add other small dead animals. Like, where is he getting all these small dead animals? Mr. Gledish, glad you're dead too. Mr. Gledish continued to add other small dead animals, which were all sooner or later buried, and the result of his experiment was that in 50 days 4 beetles had interred in the very small space of earth allotted to them 12 carcasses. There's 4 frogs, 3 small birds, 2 fishes, 1 mole, and 2 grasshoppers, besides the entrails of a fish and 2 morsels of the lungs of an ox. Mr. Gledish, you're gross. In another experiment, a single beetle buried a mole 40 times its own bulk and weight in 2 days.